there's an issue. Alright, you guys, enough of a demo. Stop! Hey, welcome back to my channel, Duct Tape Mechanic, and to another episode of my series Free on Facebook, which is a series of videos in which I find things for free and I show you how to repair them, repurpose them, or recycle them in another manner. What you just saw was a washing machine that I picked up for free that had really bad suspension rods. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to actually repair those suspension rods. So if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more DIY and tinkering videos. Alright, so this video is going to be applicable to pretty much any sort of washing machine that has these 6 LED lights followed by a pause play button, as these are all washing machines that have suspension rods that will go bad. Now, in this video, I'm not going to show you how to actually replace the suspension rods because I already made a really in-depth video on how to do that. So if you need to do that, I'm going to link that video in the description of this video. This video, on the other hand, is more of a research and development type of video, or a tinkering video that I like to do once in a while. And in this video, I'm going to take the suspension rods out of this washing machine, and I'm going to attempt to do a repair that I kind of read about in a couple of forums and I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm going to test it out and see if it actually works. So I've already kind of opened this machine up a little bit, and so I actually went and removed the rods as well, and I just replaced them with rods that I knew were good, just so that the tub wouldn't hit the ground. And what I wanted to show real quick before we get started is just the amount of damage that was caused by the bad suspension rods. This is not that difficult of a repair. Like I said, I'm gonna link the video, but so what happened was they probably let this thing, it was probably bouncing around for a while, and I think they let it go. The owner said that it was going halfway across the garage. Well, it wasn't just doing that, it was also damaging other parts. You can see here, it actually broke the upper part of the tub right here, so it's gonna be quite a lot more extensive of a repair than just replacing the rods for me. You see the tub, the upper lip of the tub's broken, and so that's kind of a pain, especially if this transmission is seized on there, or if that wash plate and stuff is seized on there. But that's a story for another day. I did go ahead and replace the rods here. Like I said, if they had just replaced them after the first couple of times it bounced around, they probably would have had a really nice working washing machine. So these are the rods I pulled out of this machine. Like I said, I just replaced them with good rods, just temporarily, just to keep the tub from dropping down. But these rods are bad, and what's happening is this part right here comes loose, and so as you can see, if I invert this, it's going to come flopping down like that, and it's not really supposed to do that. It's supposed to be able to hold its shape by itself, like so. I mean, you can see if I'm pushing it into place, and if I do it like this, it still comes out. It's not supposed to glide out like that. So when it does that, it can't really absorb the centrifugal forces that are exerted on it when the washing machine spins. So what we're going to try to do is make this repair by using safety pins, essentially, to kind of create a wedge in here to hold this in place. These rods can be a little bit pricey, between the $60 $65 range. So if I can come up with a reliable solution that's under $2 or $3, whatever the cost of safety pins is, that's a huge win. Now, I do want to say this is just research and development at this point. If you have your own personal washing machine and you want to test this out, go for it. I'm just going to use this on this machine. I don't have any plans of selling this selling this particular machine. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece here and separate it from the top piece. So I don't know exactly what technique I'm going to use, but I'm going to try to pop this off right here and see if I can't separate the two. Okay, so to separate them, you really got to kind of stick it in there, then pry it down. So now we got this thing separated. Now we can see the next step is going to be pretty much to insert the safety pin through here, and then make sure it can stick to some part of this bottom piece right here. So I'll show you what that looks like now. So I'm also gonna move this up a little bit if I can. There we go. Give ourselves a little bit of space and move this piece up. So now I got just like so. These are the safety pins I'll be using. They're about 1.5 inches long, just in case if you're wondering. So I'm just gonna take that off like that, and undo it. Like so. And then we're going to stick the pin through here between this space. Okay, so pretty much what I did is I separated these two pieces, then I stuck the safety pin through the top right here, and then I kind of bent it so it would stab into this plastic piece on the bottom piece, I should say. And then I'm just going to try to push this all the way down and hopefully push it into place like so. I don't know if I saw that, but I just did it like that, and it's going to create a nice wedge in there, and then the safety pin's actually going to poke into the bottom piece and kind of hold it together. As you can see, it's not going anywhere, whereas previously it was just dropping down completely. So that's how you do that portion, and then I'm just going to cut this off around right here so it doesn't interfere with anything, and that's how you do one of them. And I'll do the same thing for the rest of them, and we'll slap them on and see what happens. Yeah, as you can see, I'm vibrating this pretty good, and it's not going anywhere. If you don't believe me, we can do the same thing for this one here. So you see that I got this plastic piece. I'll just slide that back down later, but so this is another bad one I got, so I'm just gonna slide that down as well, and then I'll snap it into place here. And so as you can see, those pieces are down here, and the one on the left is a good one right here, the one on the right is a bad. I'm just gonna hold it vertical and just gonna give it a shake, and as you can see, the one on the right is just sliding completely down, and the one on the left is completely perfect. And I'm not using pretty much the same amount of force on both of them, and it just keeps on sliding. This one shaking it up, and it looks good. So I'll do that again, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so I did get all 4 of them done. They do go a lot faster after like the first 1 or 2 of them, yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull off the ones that I had put in the machine as a temporary space holder, and I'm going to slap these ones on and see if they do the trick. Alright, so I had this thing hooked up to my little test station right here, and I had it going on a regular wash cycle. Then I heard a loud banging noise while I was inside, and while I came out on the spin cycle, it was just shaking like crazy. I couldn't get it on video, but it was pretty much like how it was before. Then I was just about to, deem this project a failure, but then I realized that I showed this earlier in the video, but this actually is the balance ring, and if it's cracked, as you can see, it's even like tore off this part, and that's also going to contribute to balance and stability issues. So before I completely axe this as a failure, I'm going to take this suspension rods out that I repaired once again and put it on another washer that has a good balance ring, so we can eliminate that as a source of potential vibration and shaking, so we know that, so we can truly focus in on if the repaired suspension rods are actual fix to this issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap those rods out and see if that works. Alright, so I'm just gonna take the suspension rods out of this one and throw them onto this one. And if you recall, if you follow my channel, you know that this is the washing machine that I actually rebuilt the transmission on. And so this is already kind of an R&D type of washing machine I have on hand anyways. So I'm gonna swap the suspension rods and see if they work on this one. Alright, so this is the machine with the repaired suspension rods. It's on the spin cycle. As you can tell, it's hardly shaking. It looks like it's pretty normal to me. I'm going to open this up. I bypassed the lid switch, so you can see those clothes spinning nice and fast in there. Yeah, so if you're running a little bit low on money and your washing machine's going around like crazy, this may be a fix for you. I don't know how permanent this thing is, but it may get you through a couple weeks or a couple months. And hopefully you found this video to be helpful. I think that little rattling sound you hear is that I don't think I inserted this panel correctly. So yeah, so it's just that right there. So that sounds a lot more normal now. I gotta go back and pop this panel back into place correctly. But yeah, if you found this video to be helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Those of you who aren't convinced that those are indeed the repaired suspension rods, I did open up the back panel here a little bit and I lifted this part up. As you can see, you can still see the safety pin on the suspension rods. So it does work. You know, I wouldn't recommend this, like I said, for a permanent fix or anything like that, but definitely if you're in a pinch and need your machine up and running, maybe it's worth a shot.